Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Wong. Well, my YouTube name is Wong, and I do beauty videos, and today I'm going to be showing all of you how I do my eyeliner. These are the products that I'm using today. They're Japanese eyeliners, and also this Jouer eyeliner that I've used in the past is actually pretty good as well. If you guys want to see my review on these eyeliners, please click here, talk you guys through all the textures and everything. And yeah, so if you guys want to see how I did this eyeliner look, not the whole face, but just how I did my eyeliner, please keep on watching. And yeah. Okay, so today is gonna be the day where I redo my how I do my eyeliner tutorial. Okay, so now that I've finished the eyeshadow look, I'm gonna walk you guys through how I do my eyeliner. For the purpose of this video, today I'm going to be using the Dolly Wing eyeliner. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is kind of turn to the side so you can see this eye. And to get the perfect angle, I just follow my natural the natural angle of my waterline. See, this is the waterline, this fleshy part down here. I follow the natural line, and in with the brush, I create a line. And in order to create that nice tapered line, I press firmly when I first apply it, and then I slowly lift the brush in order to taper the line. So that's the first step. And before I do anything else, as I've learned by trial and error, I go to the next eye and I do the same thing in order to get the perfect angle. Now this takes a lot of skill and practice, but we're just gonna go right ahead and do the same step, follow the natural curvature of the waterline. I think that's a better angle. Natural line, create the first stroke, and just kind of do the same technique where you put pressure when you first apply and then you kind of lift the brush. So here I kind of made a double line just to fix the angle. So you see how the angle of both sides are very symmetrical, just because your natural waterline creates that symmetry. What I like to do is go back in with the original eye, and I just like to create a triangle. So starting from the outer corner right here, I try to get the brush, because it's a really thin brush, I try to place it right where the eyeliner already is so as not to, like that, to create a little triangle. And depending on my mood, I'll do it thicker and thinner. So I create a little triangle, like so. And then I'll try to do the same thing on the other eye. And I'm just gonna do it like so. And how to create that second angle, it really doesn't matter. For me, I just kind of try to make the line go into where my pupils are. So as you can see, the eyeliner from this point to this point is where my actual iris is. I think that's called iris, right? Berta, is that the iris?
Yes.
Yes, the iris, where the iris is. So that's how I create that angle, from this point to the iris. Same for the other one. And now I just fill it in. And you want to get right up close to the lash line. All right, so now for this step, as you can see, I have monolids, and for the shape of my monolids, if you can see, they're kind of naturally uneven. As you can see, this one is naturally rounder than this one, and I adjust accordingly depending on the day. And this is due to the shape of my eyes. And also, if you can tell right now, if I do a very thin line as a lot of tutorials tell you to do a really thin line to create a perfect eyeliner. If I do that, when I open my eyes, it disappears. And that's due to the shape of my eyes. Whenever I open my eyes, the lid actually hoods over and folds on top, so your eyeliner disappears. So in order to tackle that problem, I slowly layer the eyeliner, and I make sure to create an arch to create more of a rounder eye. So in order to create that arch, the highest point of the arch would be in the center of where my pupil is. So if I look straight and I imagine there's a line down in this kind of area, I kind of sort of imagine the highest point to be at this point. So I'm just gonna do that, and how I build the eyeliner is I start from the outer corner and I slowly build an arch, like so. And I don't fill it in. I just slowly build an arch, and I look up and I see whether or not I'm happy with how it appears with my eyes open. And basically, you keep doing this step until you like the thickness of your eyeliner. And I like to sort of slowly do it. And then when I'm happy, I fill it in. But when I fill it in, I don't fill in from the outer corners, I fill it in from the inner corners. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And just slowly create sort of like a U shape and slowly layer it up to the top. And this is the final step. You need to sort of fill it in right close to the line. And another technique, as you can see, I'm balancing my finger, my pinky finger on my face, and I'm kind of rotating my wrists in order to create a really smooth application. So I'm just gonna continue doing that from the inner corner. And also, as you can see, I start from the inner corner. As you can see, I start from the inner corner because some of the more of the eyeliner, if I go like this with my eyes closed, you can see there's a lot of eyeliner there. But when I open my eye, more of the eyeliner gets hidden. So that's why when I fill in, I like to start from the inner corner and then build. So I do accordingly until I'm comfortable with the shape. And then in order to make a nice fluid line, I start from the outer corner once again and I keep in mind where my arch is to create that line. So right now it looks a little bit odd. As you can see, here's the difference between a lined eye and an unlined eye. Because I created that sort of arch, it gives the illusion of rounder eyes, more open and awake. And when I have my eyes fully opened, I don't have that problem of a disappearing eyeliner. So I'm just gonna show you guys real quick. Eyes closed, eyes open. And I prefer to actually have a thick line. Some people prefer to have a thin line that's only visible when their eyes are closed, but I feel like it's more effective, especially if you're in pictures or if you're, I don't know, doing the day-to-day. You don't have your eyes closed for that many seconds. I mean, you blink for a millisecond and people like see a lot of black, and then all of a sudden it's like normal again. So it's not, for me, it doesn't really make a big difference, but that's how I like to do it. And yeah. So then now I'm gonna go ahead and do the second eye, and I'm gonna use the same technique. So I'm just gonna repeat the steps and create that arch and then fill it in. So see how that looks, and then I check, and as you can see, this one's more thick, so then I start to build it from the outside once again. And then afterwards, I like to go back and forth. I keep looking at both eyes to see what the difference is, and for this one, I feel like the point is a little higher, so then for this one, I'm gonna mimic it. As you can see now, it looks more symmetrical. Okay, so next off, if you have any fallout with eyeshadow, or if you feel like you have some natural shadowing, you can't tell right now because I do have concealer, but in some of my older videos, you can tell that the outer corner, I have some shadowing that kind of points downwards. I already have concealer, but if you did your eyes first and your foundation and base makeup second, you can go in with this step and clean up your eye. Whatever concealer I'm using at the moment, a brush like this, I like to do is look up, and I like to clean up the edges. And just that extra brightness really makes the eyes super defined. Same thing on the opposite eye. And just blend upwards. The final step is to curl your eyelashes, and I'm just gonna look down. Majorca, and I'm just gonna go in with it. And comb through the eyelashes. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is pretty much the last step. And yeah, this is how I do my eyeliner for my hooded monolids that fold inwards and is super weird. But this is actually the video that made my channel what it is today. I filmed it back in 2008, I think. And posted it because so many people were asking me in person on the streets, and I just decided to film a video so that it's more easier to explain. And from then on, it just blew up, and so many people loved it. I helped a lot of people who have the similar eye shape as me create the perfect cat eye. Actually, back then it wasn't even a cat eye. It was more of a simple, more thinner line than it is today. But today, this is my everyday eyeliner. I love doing a dramatic wing. I've grown to be comfortable wearing a dramatic wing on a daily basis, and having a thicker arch on the eyes, if that makes any sense, a thicker line on the upper eyelid. Okay, so this is the zoomed out result of how my eyeliner looks. Sometimes it looks a bit uneven because I do have naturally uneven eyelids, so when my eyes are closed, they look more uneven. But when they're open, they look pretty good, I think, and relatively even. And I think for the most part, that's the most important, because if you're ever, okay, the only time your eyeliner is that important is if you're taking a photo, and when you're taking a photo, usually your eyes are open. So as long as it looks even when your eyes are open, I think it's okay. And yeah, so this is how I've perfected how I do my eyeliner over the years since my first video, that has grown to have like so many views and gained me so many subscribers. And that's why I thought it was appropriate to do this video here at the Ipsy Studios today on how I do my eyeliner, because that was one of my first videos that really got a lot of attention and helped so many people. So many people have commented talking about their monolid struggles, how their monolids are different from mine, and the techniques they use, and it's just the most engaging video that I have, so I decided to refilm it. And I know a lot of you guys who are subscribed to me are people with hooded lids or monolids, and you guys love this kind of stuff. And to just get an updated video on how I do the most basic thing, which is eyeliner, is definitely, I think, a nice touch. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. Thank you all for watching, and please click here for part 1 to see what products I use. I go into a lot of detail on how I draw thick and thin lines, and I show you all the different eyeliners that I use. Also, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to let me know your feedback on this video. And you can also follow me on Instagram. My lifestyle one is imsowong, and the beauty related one is imsowong too.
Also, you can click on this video above if you want to see how I did the eyeshadow for this look.